Schönen guten Abend, Nordrhein-Westfalen. Hier sind wir, NRW Live mit der Late Night. Ja, die Songs bzw. ja, Welt-Hits kann man schon sagen. Living Next Door to Alice, Stumbling In oder auch Midnight Lady wurden durch seine raue Stimme zu wahren Evergreens. Die Rede ist von Chris Norman. Er ist quasi im Rampenlicht groß geworden. Sowohl seine Eltern als auch seine Großeltern standen auf der Bühne mit der Band Smokie. Natürlich wurde er in den 70er Jahren als Sänger und Gitarrist weltberühmt. Nach der Trennung von Smokie machte er als Solosänger weiter und landete Hit für Hit. Und sein neuestes Werk, Crossover, hier vorne steht's auf dem Tisch, kommt morgen in den Handel. Ich freue mich total, dass er hier ist. Thank you so much for being on the show. Chris Norman, thanks a lot.
Thank you for having me. It's nice to be here.
Crossover, that's the brand new album. That's actually 40 years after launching your successful career with Smokie. You return with a brand new solo album, 12 tracks on the album.
Yeah. There's 12 tracks plus a bonus track, which was a song which was actually called 40 Years On.
Yeah.
Which was a song that I wrote for the Smokie, because they put out a Smokie collection a few months ago, and that was going to be, for the anniversary of the 40 years, and they asked if is there any new songs. So I wrote that, because I was doing the album at the time, I was recording my album then, and I just wrote this song called 40 Years On, which they put on that, but I said, but I want to put up my album too. Yeah. So I just put that on as a bonus track, but it's a remix, but it's the same song that's been out already, but it's just a bonus track. The main album is 12 tracks, like you said, yeah.
So a little bit of Smokie comes into play as well with
just just to give a nod to the 40 years.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Long time. What I think is very interesting about the new album is you decided not to follow any kind of style on this one. It just worked on any song, no matter what direction. What was the key thing you were looking for in finding the right songs?
Well, I mean, it's just a case of whenever I start to think about or write songs, I usually do it just after I've done another album, or the last album. I start, without thinking about it, just putting down song ideas for future.
Yeah.
And then when I get towards doing a new album, I go through all the list of songs that I've got. The ideas that I've got, and usually I filter them out. Then I usually think, well, I like that song, but it's not for me, like whatever. And this time I didn't do that. This time I just thought, well, if I've written it, it's me, because it came from me. So, and I didn't want to filter anything out. So I just took the songs that I liked the best, whether or not they be one style or another, and then recorded them. So consequently, the album's got like more contemporary stuff on it. It's also got some rock. It's also got some slightly country. It's got skiffle.
Okay.
So there's lots of different ballads. There's different types of songs on there. So I went with it. I thought, don't filter them out. Just do the songs you like the best. Yeah. And then I call the album Crossover because it's
the appropriate name for
crossing it. Crossing over, yeah, because
absolutely.
Yeah.
When we thinking about the creation of the new album, I think you said in an interview once, it almost felt like being in a normal job, starting every day just after breakfast, working on the new album.
Somebody asked me, do I do it like as a routine, or do I just go in when I feel like it at night or whatever? And basically, I do kind of do it as a routine. Once I start working on an album, I'm writing and demoing every day, so that I sort of discipline myself because there's nobody else there to tell me, go on, get in there. So I just I don't get up early anyway. I'm not an early morning person, so I usually get up and then go for a run or whatever, have something to eat. And usually I aim to get started about midday, and then I'll be in the studio recording and writing till whenever I think that's enough for the day. It can be a few hours. I can finish at 6. I can be working till 2 in the morning. It depends. If it's something I'm really into, I continue. And if sometimes you get sort of like a thing, I think I'll leave it until tomorrow and come back to it, which works too, But I tend to do it every day. And then sometimes I have to go off and do something else, like if I've got a gig somewhere, then I go away for a couple of days, come back, and then I have to get back into it again.
So where did it all take place? Was that all at home in the Isle of Man?
I start off in my own studio, writing and demoing. And this album, I actually did a lot of the demo stuff I used on the album because I liked the way it sounded already. I just needed to replace certain things and do some, but I played a lot of the stuff on it because of that, because I'd already played bass and guitars and a lot of stuff, and even the vocal. I used a lot of those things already. When I went into the bigger studio, I got a few extra musicians in to play things extra. But most of it was stuff that I'd done already, you know.
Yeah, the album, the opener is Waiting, and when that came out, it wasn't actually a single in the stores. You decided, or you went straight ahead and did a worldwide online distribution. Is that how it's done these days? Then
it seems to be kind of like a waste of time now. I mean, some countries don't even release singles anymore, like in Scandinavia or Denmark. They don't. I don't think.
It's all digitally. Up
yeah, it's all digital downloads, and so it just seems that the last album, I think I did put out an actual single, but there was more downloads than there was singles sold. So it just seems like a waste of time. I think people who want to buy an actual CD they'll buy the album, and if they just like the odd song, they'll download it. So that seems to be the modern way of doing it. And most of the record shops in England, anyway, have closed now.
Yeah,
so
there's the same here in Germany. It's the same thing.
Yeah, I think there's only one major one that's left, and so you know, it's different. The world's different than it used to be, you know.
Shooting for the video, I think, took place in Manchester, and you could see your son Paul. He's playing the drums.
Yeah.
Who else took part in the creation of the song video?
The guitar player who's in my band, Jeff Carline, he's on there, and his daughter, and a friend who's also a guitar player. But I called him and said, "Do you want to come and play bass on this?" Because all my band are all further away. I mean, some of the band are German. One of them was American. She's just left. I've got another one who's English. But it was easier just to get people who I knew who were local to Manchester. You know, I just called them and said, "I'm doing a video next week. Do you want to come down?" And so that was just people I knew. And Paul was over in England anyway. Actually, he was in Scotland. And I rang him in Scotland. I said, "When are you coming down to England?" And he said, "Next, whenever it was." And I said, "Well, do you want to come and do this video and play the drums?" And he went, "Oh, I don't know."
well, he did, and we'll actually.
Well, he plays the drums anyway. He's a good drummer. Yeah. But he said, "Oh, I don't know if I want to be on a video with you." But he did. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Chris Norman. Wir werden uns gleich dieses Video natürlich mal in aller Ausführlichkeit anschauen von seinem brandneuen Album Crossover, ab morgen im Handel erhältlich. Bleibt definitiv bei uns hier an der NRW Live Late Night. Thank you.